Senator Singh.
Mr Chairman, well, part of the government's so-called plan to tackle climate change to do with solar roofs and solar schools and solar town programs. So on the face of it, you would think that the opposition would be supportive of the government's plan in that vein, because it was in fact the former Labor government that was very innovative in its reforms around solar energy and the way in which solar power was encouraged and induced through its reforms and programs as part of the clean energy package bills that went forward. So of course Labor supports solar energy. It supports solar power promoted through the use of small and large scale solar PV installation through a range of means including the renewable energy target, which has until now had bipartisan support. I remember in fact that Senator Birmingham was supportive of the renewable energy target, of course of that which had both small and large scale sub-targets as well. So we had the support of the then opposition in relation to that particular part of the former Labor government's clean energy package, but unfortunately that's no longer the case. But another component of that, of course, in relation to solar energy, of which my questioning is about, which I will get to, Senator Birmingham, was to do with ARENA, as we know it as Australian Renewable Energy Agency, which also provides funding for new technologies and projects that provide large-scale...
Order. Senator Singh, resume your seat. Senator Birmingham.
Point of order. Just to assist Senator Singh, it might be helpful if she knew that Amendment 7, yet to be moved and not before the chair at this stage, is the one of the oppositions that deals with ARENA.
Thank you. Senator Singh.
If you want to structure it, please
Senator Singh. Senator Singh, and the question before the chair is order. Senator Collins. Senator Singh, you
Thank
have
you, Chair.
call,
look, to give some context, I will just outline that I will discuss the fact that ARENA is relevant to this part of the committee stage because we are talking about renewable energy. My question to you is about solar, about your particular solar roofs program. So we are certainly talking about renewable energy, and ARENA is certainly a part of renewable energy, of which this particular part of the committee stage is about. So, look, ARENA has played an incredible role when it comes to renewable energy. If there's one thing you think we still have some bipartisan support on, you would think it is in the renewable energy space. So you would think that this government would still be supportive of ARENA. But no, we know that Senator Birmingham is very uncomfortable in any other senator in this place raising issues about the government's handling of ARENA, because we know that recently in the MyEFO there was a huge cut to ARENA of $450 million.
Order. I just draw your attention to the fact that the question before the chair is opposition amendments 1 to 3 on sheet 7443. Senator Singh.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very well aware of that. I'm very well aware of that, and if it...
Order. Order. Senator Collins and Senator Birmingham and Fifield, I remind you that it is disorderly for you to interject. Senator Singh.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. My questioning is in regard to the 1 million solar roofs program that this government has as part of its program that it has put forward. And I'm trying to give some context and to understand where the government is coming from with this particular solar roofs program, which is why I was raising ARENA as part of that, because the Australian Renewable Energy Agency is an agency which provides funding for new technologies like solar projects. And in fact, there were some 70 different projects in an array of different types of solar energy technology developments, which is available, I think, on their website, which shows very much the way in which ARENA plays an active role in ensuring that solar energy is part of the mix of renewable energies, of which I would think this government is interested in relation to its direct action plan, because it has outlined that solar energy is part of that. It has outlined a solar roofs program, and that is what I want to get to in this particular component of the committee stage. So I raised ARENA because I'm concerned because nearly $450 million has been cut from my EFO from ARENA. So what I want to know is, where is the funding going to come from for these particular programs that are being raised by the government in relation to their 1 million solar roofs program? Because on the one hand, they want to be for solar energy, for renewable energy, and have a program which on the face of it does sound positive for the country. A million solar roofs program sounds like a good thing. But on the other hand, they're cutting my EFO, which is going to have a detrimental effect to how that program is going to be able to be rolled out. So the public want to know, the opposition want to know, if the government is actually genuine in what it is putting forward through these bills in the area of renewable energy, in the area particularly of this solar roof program. Because if I look at it in contrast, I know what the expenditure was from when we were in government, when the Labor government was in and introduced its clean energy bills. And I know the incredible investment that was made into ARENA, and which ensured that ARENA had the ability to provide solar energy to be rolled out across the country, which has led to so many incredible solar energy projects, some 70 different ones that I could list right now, but I don't have the time, right across the country. So if this government is genuine, it will explain how it is going to ensure that its 1 million solar roofs program is going to be rolled out when there has been a cut to my EFO. On top of that, I would like to know if low-income households will be targeted at all in particular, or exactly how the solar roof program is going to be rolled out. Will there be some kind of co-payment arrangement with the solar roof program, or will it just be a straight subsidy from government? How much abatement is expected from the program? Because one would expect there would be some analysis going on at this point in time to see how a 1 million solar roof program would have some positive impact on abatement. And also, where will funding for the Solar Towns program come from? Again, sounds like a good thing, Solar Towns program, but where's that funding going to come from as well? Especially when I understand that there could be regional towns, there could be suburbs, there could be local government areas. Again, it's not clear. Will there be such areas, regional towns, suburbs, local government areas, in regional and urban areas?
Singh, resume your seat. Senator Birmingham.
Chair, I ask you to again draw Senator Singh to the question before the Chair. We've been incredibly tolerant through the length of time taken, but not a single question, comment or otherwise from Senator Singh has related to the question before the Chair, or frankly even the legislation before the Chamber.
Senator Collins.
On the point of order, because I think Senator Birmingham needs to be apprised of the advice that was provided to the opposition in this matter in terms of how we proceeded with amendments. The first set of amendments, and indeed we would have been happy to move them as a whole, but the first set...
Sorry, you couldn't adjust your tactics to the advice.
It's not an adjustment of the tactics, Senator Birmingham, and in fact, your whole manner and demeanour does you no credit this evening.
Order. Senator Collins,
the insults and the conduct in
you
which
will
you
address your remarks
participated.
through the chair.
Well, I will address my remarks through the chair because, Chair, to sit in this chamber, and I will respond later, but to sit in this chamber and to be accused of having no guts, no courage, to be slinking around, to be sneaky, tricky,
Senator Collins,
and a range of other misinformation needs to be addressed. And I will come to the point of order because, aside from Senator Birmingham's poor parliamentary behaviour, he needs to understand that in this committee stage debate we are dealing with the first set of questions which are moved in one set because of the way in which the question is cast. The remainder of the questions will be that matters in the bill stand as printed. The advice the opposition received from the clerk was that senators could raise and move through issues through all of the amendments. Now, if you want to challenge that advice, Chair, that's all well and good. But for Senator Birmingham to be making cheap, snide remarks
Collins,
about how senators are addressing a routine committee stage debate is highly
You will resume your seat. You've made your point of order. Senator Singh, you have 6 minutes 36 remaining. You have the call.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Look, I've been on my feet now for a good 8 minutes. So for Senator Birmingham to now raise that what I've been addressing to him, the questions that I've been raising to him, are now not pertinent to his sense of comfortability in this section of the bill is a little bit late, quite frankly. But he knows very well my line of questioning. I've been talking now for some 8 minutes about solar energy. I've been talking specifically about the government's 1 million solar roofs program and where the funding for that program is going to come from. You would think in the last 8 minutes he would have started to think about how he's going to respond to some of these questions when in the next 5 minutes he gets the opportunity to respond to them. So to make points of order, pretending that he has no idea what's going on and that I'm in some other world in regard to this section of the bill is a little bit ordinary, quite frankly. Especially for someone that I know quite well to be quite engaged in this portfolio, having been on the Senate Environment and Communications Committee with him for the last 18 months or so, and to be someone who I think I'm quite right in saying is actually quite passionate about renewable energy and about the area of climate change, as opposed to perhaps some of his colleagues in the government. He's someone, I think, that actually understands this issue and is probably actually on the record of actually being supportive of an emissions trading scheme, in fact. If I could go back to that time when he was very much adamant about the fact that that is the way that his party room was going to move. In fact, they were going to do it better than the then Rudd government. But of course now they're not going to do it at all. They're going to introduce a direct action scheme and pretend that they never even imagined the thought. But in fact, it's on the record that Senator Birmingham was very much, in fact, supportive of an emissions trading scheme. So we'll let that aside, and hopefully Senator Birmingham will be listening to my questioning in relation to the current bill that's before us, and that is my questioning in relation to solar roofs, solar schools and the Solar Towns program. So specifically, my questions are: where will the funding for the 1 million solar roofs program come from? Will low-income households be specifically targeted in some kind of program of that sort? Will there be some kind of co-payment arrangement for households? How much abatement is expected from such a program? And also, where will funding for the Solar Towns program come from? So there is a Solar Roofs program, I understand, but then there's the Solar Towns program. Will there be regional towns? Will there be suburbs or local government areas in regional areas? And also how much abatement is expected from that specific program. So there's the Solar Roofs program, there is the Solar Towns program. And then my final questioning is in relation to where will the funding for the Solar Schools program come from? And I'm specifically interested in the Solar Schools program because that is an area I'm very familiar with, having understood the over $217 million investment that the last Labor government made in providing 5,310 schools to install renewable energy systems, rainwater tanks and a range of energy efficient measures into their schools. So where will that funding for Solar Schools program come from? Will it go exclusively to public schools, or will it go to schools in low socio-economic status areas? How will that be determined, where the schools, which schools, that is, will get that particular funding? And of course, like the other two questions in relation to Solar Roofs program and Solar Towns program, how much abatement is expected from the program? So there are three programs there. I'm sure that Senator Birmingham is very aware of the three programs as part of his government's package. I'm sure he's able to answer these three questions in great detail. I know he has great interest in this area, having been a supporter of the emissions trading scheme and therefore of all of the benefits that renewable energy provides through encouraging change in behaviour, which is what occurs through an emissions trading scheme. So I will finish my remarks, Chair, by highlighting that I equally am interested and passionate about renewable energy. I do think it is a way of the future. I think it is something that both the opposition and the government could have some bipartisan agreement on. It's just probably where we differ is on how it's delivered and certainly how it is funded, because in cutting $450 million in MyEFO from ARENA is certainly going to cut the government very short in being able to deliver these three programs. So I'll be very interested to hear from Senator Birmingham exactly how this is going to occur.